Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to be showing you how to change the spark plugs on a BMW 3 Series. This particular one is a 318 coupe, it's an E92, and the engine is an N43. So the same procedure will be very similar in other BMW models with the N43 engine and also the E90, 91 and 93. Now for this you will need a special spark plug socket. You'll need a 12-point thin wall 14mm socket with wobble, and what I mean by wobble is this top bit here. Okay, this particular one here, if you're interested, is a laser. It was bought off eBay for around about a 10 UK pounds, and there we go, that's the info there, so you can pause that and read that. And basically it's got 12 points, so they don't look like the older fashioned spark plugs or the spark plugs you get on other models. These particular spark plugs on this engine, on my car, is a 91785 NGK, and there we go, ZKBR7AHTU. And if we have a look at the inside of them, you will see, I'll just get rid of that little bit of cardboard, that is the spark plug there. But can you see it's got that 12 pointed bit round there? So that's why you can't use a normal spark plug spanner on it. Now beforehand what I did is I just went down to my local Halfords in the UK and I won, because this socket here again is a 12-point one. The problem is on this particular engine I managed to get to 3 of the spark plugs using this, but the actual hole is offset. So on, I can't remember if it was the 2nd or 3rd spark plug, I couldn't get to it, so I had to buy this one, because what happens is the hole goes down straight, but then the spark plug at the very end is offset like that. So when you put a long one into it, you can get to the top of the spark plug, but you can't get it down far enough to actually undo. So that's why I had to buy this separate wobble socket here, so that it allows for it to be offset at the end, because this top bit moves around. So now changing the spark plugs is a bit of a pain, not because it's a hard job, but because you've got to undo so much. But it's, you know, it's okay for the average DIYer with an average amount of tools. So you have to remove the pollen filter here. You've also got to remove this cross section here. It's not hard to do, this is all just plastic parts, but it does involve unclipping a couple of sensors and stuff. And then you have to remove the cover here and then remove the coil packs and get to the spark plug. So we're going to go through the process in this video, and I'm only going to be changing one spark plug because I changed the other 3 spark plugs last week with this particular spark plug socket tool here, but then I had to buy this one like I just mentioned. Right, so to begin with we need to remove the pollen filter, so we've got to undo these 6 bolts here using an 8mm socket. So let's undo them. I've already loosened them all up. Okay, and put them safely to one side, and now the pollen filter just lifts out and put that to one side. Right, now what we have to do is we have to remove this cable here because it's going to be in our way. So nice and straightforward, you just pinch it at the end here, so pinch down here and pull out like that, and then we just need to lift it off the little retaining tabs here. So you can use a flathead screwdriver to help you if you wish. Now just move it out of the way to get it out of trouble. And now we have to remove this section here. So what we need to do is there's just a little tab here. We'll just lift that up, and there's also one round the back here. So just lift that up there, and then that will lift out. There might be a little bit of rubber here that stops it from pulling out, but that's easy. All you do is just move that out of the way. Okay, and we would just put that cover now to one side. And we do the same around the other side. So on this one here, we need to remove this little cable here. So again, just pinch it and pull it out like that, and then lift it off the retaining bits like that. And again, get it out of harm's way. So put it down there. Make sure you don't close your bonnet or anything with this hanging out, because you'll cut through the cable. And again, we have to take the one off this side. So there's a little tab round here at the back, just here, like that. And there's one at the front here. Right, you can use a screwdriver just to help you. Like there, and that one lifts off there. Okay, again there's a little rubber thing here that might be retaining it, you just pull that back. Okay, now we need to remove this bolt here, and we need an 8mm socket for that one again, so the same as the pollen filter. And then if we come around the other side, we've got the same on the other side as well, that needs to be removed, this one here. Right, like so. And then just move these out of the way, just to give it room to lift up. Now if we have a look here, what we have to do is we have to remove these rails. Now, right, so to remove it, we just need to pull them forward, like so, and then they will unclip. You can see the clips here, but be very gentle with it, because remember it's only plastic, and then when you do this they do have a tendency to snap off, so you really wouldn't want to be doing this too much. And then we need to remove the ones behind it as well. So that's 2 lots that we need to remove, like so. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to lift this section out. There's one more cable that we need to undo. It's not the cable, it's for the, looks like the windscreen washer. So again, this one here, just prise that one off there. There's a little thing that you just pull out there. Right, and then what you have to do is if you come here, you see that there's another little rubber tab that you have to remove here, like so. And there will be one round the other side. This one here. So pull them out of the way, and that will release it. And now to remove this whole plastic section here, what we do is we need to lift it up and out, yeah? Up and out like that. And if you have a look here, you can see that there's little plastic tabs here, and the rubber seal at the top fits into this bit here. So that's what makes it a bit fiddly to take out, because the rubber seal's in that bit. Okay, now if we have a look over here, we need to undo 3 bolts. And then we've got one here, we've got another one here, and another one at the back, the very back here, in here. Right, now for this one we're going to be using, these are like Allen key bolts, so we're going to be using this one here. This is a H5. Yeah, and that will fit in there like so. Right, so let's undo these 3. It's 1, 2, and the one at the back. 3. Now to remove this cover we do have to undo the oil filler cap, so just give that a just over 1/4 of a turn and take it off and just put it to one side. Try not to get the oil everywhere, and then nice and gently we'll just lift this off like so. You do have to use a bit of force, and just to stop any rubbish falling into the engine I'm just going to put the oil filler cap back on, and then we can put the cover to one side. Okay, so here we have the 4 connectors to the coil packs. So you've got one here, one here, one here, and one here. And then under the connectors you've got the coil packs, and under the coil packs you've got the spark plugs. Now as I say, I've already changed this one, and this one, but I couldn't get to this one here. So I'm going to have to use a special tool for it. So to remove the cabling, it's nice and easy. You just flick it up like so, and then you can just actually pull the connector straight out. So let me just show you that again close up. So this is the connector here, so we just need to pull it up like that, and as you pull it up it actually eases the connection out, so it's nice and straightforward. So then you just get the connector and you just pull it out of the way, and then what we have to do is we have to pull out the coil pack. Now all you need to do to pull it out is just use a bit of brute strength, and also give it a little wiggle left and right as you're pulling it. So if you have a look, I'm grabbing on. I'm not just grabbing onto the connector at the back, at the top. I'm not grabbing onto this bit because that bit's likely to come off. I'm kind of trying to grab the whole coil pack and give it a wiggle. And there you go. Did you hear that pop? That pop was the rubber coming off the spark plug at the bottom, and that's the coil pack. So nice and easy, and the spark plug's all the way in there, but the problem is it's not a perfectly straight hole. So if I try to line that up straight with this, there we go, if I line it up straight, can you see that the spark plug isn't quite straight in it, and that's the reason you need the wobble socket. So let's get that set up now. So now we've got the socket set in there with the wobble tool at the very bottom. Now we're going to go anti-clockwise to loosen it off. Quite a long thread on these ones, so you're going to have to give it a lot of turns. There we go, and there's the spark plug. Okay, so you can see how the tool works. Right, let's go get the new spark plug and pop it in. Okay, so take the old one out. Get the new one, pop it in, and you can see why you need the star shaped, because the 12 points there meet up with the 12 points on the spark plug, like so. Right, let's pop this back in. Right, so we're going to put the new one in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it by hand to begin with, because I don't want to cross thread them. It's an aluminium head, so it's easy to do. So just do it by hand. It should go in nice and easy. If it's not going in easy, then take it out and start again. That's another reason why it's handy to have the correct wobble tool, because then there's less chance of cross threading it. Right, now there will be a setting that you can torque it up to. I kind of know how hard it was to undo, so I'm going to just do it by hand. Obviously, if you're not confident with that, then get yourself a torque wrench. They're not that expensive, and then look up the settings online. Right, I'm happy with that now. I'll take that out. Right, what I've had to do is, every time I try to pull out the socket set, this tool here, the wobble tool, used to stay on the spark plug, because it's got like a rubber insert there, and what happens is it's gripping onto the spark plug too much. So what I've had to do is I've had to undo spark plug again to remove the whole thing, including the tool, and this time I've just put some tape around the tool, so now I will be able to get it out. So that's a handy little tip if you're having problems, if it's leaving the tool inside the engine, then what you'll have to do is just tape it up, and then it should all come out okay. So again, I'm just putting the spark plug in by hand. Okay, that's hand tight. That's it, and now everything's come out apart from the spark plug, which is what I want. So now I've got my coil pack. I'm going to put the coil pack back in, and if you have a look, there's two little notches just here and here, and that will correspond to this part here on the coil pack. So coil pack is just a push fit. There's no actual bolts or anything to hold this in. It is just a push fit. So I presume they've done their research to find out that they don't wobble free. Okay, so that's the coil pack fully in. And now let's offer up the connector again, the electrical connector. Like so. So I've pushed in the electrical connector again, and now as I push in, the lid's already falling down, and then I just click it into place. So as you see now, that's fully home. That's it. Okay, and just check when you're finished, check all the core packs, make sure that they're fully in. And now we have to put everything back together again. So we're going to start with putting on the engine cover, basically a reverse of how we took everything apart. So take off the oil cap again. And now just push this up under everything. like so. Put the oil filler cap back on, and now we need to put in the 3 bolts that we took out earlier. Now we have to offer this back up. Now remember that these tabs here that stick out have to go in this rubber seal here. So obviously this plastic goes at the top of the seal and this tab goes at the bottom. So this can be quite fiddly to work back in. It can take quite a lot of flexing and bending to actually try to get it back in. There we go, that actually went in quite nice, that went in nice that time. And then if you have a look at these little tabs here, these little rubber tabs, you need to get them back up on like that. That side, and also this side here. Push it in there like so. Remember that goes back on there. Remember we took off that hose earlier. Right, now let's put the bolts back in, and then we can put the wires to the sensor back in. So we're going to put 1 bolt in here. Okay, that's in there, and put that little cover back on there like so. Now around this side. Got the hole here. That's it, just nip it up and cover that bit up there. And then what we have to do is, do you remember the sensor here? So don't put it around that part of the strut here, it needs to be tucked away around this side. And what we're going to do is you just clip the sensor back in there like so. That's in there, and then you just push these back onto the little plastic pegs like that. And now that wire is out of harm's way. Now we need to do the other side. So again, not that way. It needs to go under the strut and push the sensor back in. You might hear a few clicks when you push that back in, and then push these little things down onto the tabs there like so. Right, now we need to put these little plastic covers back on. They just push into place, and then the little rubber tab goes like so. And again, make sure you don't trap that cable. This cable needs to be out of the way, so don't trap it underneath this part here, because sometimes you can get it trapped in that little joint there. So that's that side done. Let's do the other side. Again, making sure the cables are out of the way, so don't put it down on top of the cable, just tuck it underneath there. Move this little rubber bit. This is the only fiddly bit, is the rubber bit here, and that will clip back into place, making sure it's not fouling anything. That's that. Now we need to get the pollen filter back on. And now the pollen filter just sits up here like so, and it makes the seal against here. So these are the important 4 screws here, and then these 2 bolts here just hold it into place. Now, just before I do those bolts up there, we need to clip back this bit back into place. Now this is really quite fiddly, because it doesn't really, it's very easy to break, so I've already broken one of them. Now if you have a look here, we've got 1, 2, 3 kind of sockets, and then 1, 2, 3, let's call them plugs. So what you have to do is you have to lift this up, and do you see how that works there? So you have to make sure that they all align up before you push them in. So there we go, and listen to this. Kind of hear them click into place. So now they're in. Now I need to do this outside one, and again we've got 3 sockets here and we have 3 plugs here, but this one here is broken off on me, so it's only going to be held on by these 2. But you get the idea. They go into here, so it's like a tongue that goes in, and they just clip in on that little bit of plastic in the middle there. So just be careful when you're doing this. And there we go, and that's them in. The reason it's down on this side is because that one's broken. It should be up there like that, but it's not going to affect anything. when you're working here, be very, very careful, just in case you were to drop your tool or flick it up. You don't want to smash your windscreen. And that's it. Double check everything, make sure you're happy that everything's nice and tight and secure, and basically that's it. Now you only see me change one spark plug because that's all I need it to do, but the principle is exactly the same for the other three. In fact, the other three can be slightly easier. So yeah, you can save yourself a bit of money. I believe that in the UK, I think BMW charge about £350 for a service for your spark plugs, your oil, your filters and your pollen filter, and all the parts you can get. And you can get good parts, you know, like get all the good stuff, and even the tools that you need, it still only comes to about £110. And remember, next year then you don't need the tools because you've already got them, so you can save yourself quite a bit of money to do simple service items yourself. Hopefully you found the video useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, thank you, bye now.